Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again here to Virtual Racing Network. As you can see, we are at the first road course of the season here for the Northwest Xfinity Series. But of course, before we dive into all the racing details, we need to hop over to the sponsors for tonight's race. As always, supporting this series for quite some time, that is going to be Wolves Beard Co. Beard Balm. If you are a gentleman and you have a beard, of course you need to take care of it. And the best way to do so is with some of that Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm, all natural and organic products. So make sure you check them out, wallsbeardco.com, and pick some of that product up today. On the broadcast side of things, here for 2019, the following partners have made all this possible. Those include Northwest Racing Series, the series you're watching here tonight, your official one-to-go sponsor. And of course, Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm, your starting grid sponsor here for tonight's race and all races here on VRN. RaceOnTexas.com, they are the official real dirt track racing and asphalt racing side of VRN. We are the sim division of RaceOnTexas.com. Make sure you head on over there and check them out on RaceOnTexas.com for all your Texas and Louisiana dirt track racing. World of Thunder, the official dirt racing league of VRN. Hanover Wrecker Service. All cautions tonight and any other night are brought to you by Hanover Wrecker Service, although we will not have any full course cautions here tonight. On the Edge Motorsports, your official Wicked Energy Gum retailer. If you need some of that gum to keep you alert and awake, head on over to On the Edge Motorsports to pick it up today. Huffman Designs for all your iRacing paint needs. If you need a car painted, check out Huffman Designs. Racecore Online Racing League. You can check them out on Sundays, and starting tomorrow, Tuesday night, we're back live with the Truck Series on Tuesday night, so check that out as well. And last but not least, that is Crumb's Custom Graphics. If you need a logo made, check out Paul Crum right over at Crumb's Custom Graphics for all your logo needs. Whether you're a league, company, or a broadcast company, whatever it may be, you can check them out and get a killer logo made today for a great price. That being said, we have about 7 minutes or so before we move into the actual race. So let's go ahead and pull up your point standings. Coming into tonight's race here for the Northwest Xfinity Series, Seth Frazier, 427 points. He is your race leader, and I do see him here tonight. Jason Berg is in second place with 415 points, 12 points out of the lead, and he is sitting at the top of the charts here in practice. Again, your points are brought to you by Sawblade.com. Run lean. We'll see Brian Barnes, his second fastest here in the night, and third in points with 377 points, 50 points out of the lead. Travis McKinney is also here tonight, I do believe, as I saw him earlier, and it actually looks like I do not see him. I believe he was having some connection issues early on tonight, so it doesn't look like he is going to be here to make the call. We'll see how that goes. Josh Coley not here tonight either. Dan West Jr. I do not see Dan West Jr. here with us either. So Lynn Pickings here tonight. Jeff Stabnell, of course, is here. Casey Tillman's here. Chris White and James Thurston are all here tonight. So a couple of our top 10 drivers missing from action here tonight. This is really going to shake things up in the point standings. As again, we'll probably look at these here in a little bit again during a little bit of a break there if we have a chance, maybe at the halfway point. But we have 50 laps on the schedule here tonight. Cautions will only be local cautions, no full course cautions, and it will be a standing start. As we got again about just under 6 minutes, we'll go ahead and pull the countdown on right there to your screen. Just about 5.5 minutes left to go. And let's see if we can't pull a driver in here and get a quick interview in before we get this thing started. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we want to get a quick word in with Jeff. We'll see how tonight goes, but overall, Jeff, road courses not the majority of the schedule here for the Northwest Xfinity Series. So obviously, we know people like Barnes, Berg, Brightsman. These guys are known to be road courses. So you've had a few laps of practice here. Would that be the general idea? Who are we going to expect to see up at the front of this field tonight?
Well, I think you hit it right on. The three Bs, Berg, Brightsman, and Barnes, and it's four Bs of Bennett's Racing, but those are our road course guys. They run a lot of road courses, so and they're good, and so those would be guys I'd expect to look for up front. Now, Sean, he didn't have any practice in. I mean, his first laps are looking like they're going to come in the race, so I would be cautious about putting his name up there with them tonight, but. Somehow he usually figures it out. If you go by practice times, Travis McKinney was probably second fastest behind Berg all week at the practices, and there was a pretty big gap between those two and the rest. So I think you got to look for McKinney. Of course, he's having some serious internet issues. I don't even know if he'll be able to race tonight. So that puts that up in the air. And then, Chris White, James Thurston, and Paulson. I don't know that Chris White I'd call a road course guy, but he does well on the road courses. He had top fives last year at all the road races. And I think James Thurston and Steve Paulson are both a couple of road guys that did pretty well last year too. So that would probably be my next tier to keep an eye on. And then, I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't have near enough practice laps, and this is an extremely tough course here tonight. I imagine towards the back somewhere.
Well, definitely tonight is going to be a crazy night. Just to mention a few things, just to get here, we've already had the practice lobby go crazy on us and kick everyone out. Brand new track, a lot of people haven't even touched before. So a lot of crazy things going on to take place before we even get started with this race. But just in case we don't get to talk to you here again tonight, Jeff, we want to give you that chance to get those sponsors here for the league out so they get a mention.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me throw something else in. We're going over this at drivers' meeting right now. We just got done having a meeting about this. With the iRacing update coming up tomorrow, we've had some shaky sessions tonight, obviously mass disconnects. And so the way we're going to handle that tonight is if we get a mass disconnect and we're halfway or further in the race, we're going to call it official. If we're less than halfway, we'll just call it a night and reschedule. If the service is having difficulties tonight, we're just not going to mess around and try a whole bunch of times. So just for your information, if there is a mass disconnect, that's how it'll be handled.
All right, well, that is definitely good information to know. So, of course, if all the cars just randomly disappear, you'll know what happens. But we're going to let you go, Jeff. We got about a minute or so left to go. And, good luck, and we'll possibly see you here in a bit.
Yeah, big shout out to Walls Beard Co., series sponsor, team sponsor, and, of course, Virtual Racing Network for all the work you guys do. Thanks a lot, Charles, and good luck covering us, and I hope you find a way to make us all look good tonight.
Oh, we will do our best.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we will get him back in his team channel. We want to give a shout out to everyone in chat. See Corey is out there, Bob's out there. We have Jason out there as well. So big shout out to everybody tuning in here. I know it's a little bit late for some people depending on what coast you're on. But we definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight with us. As we are about to get this thing going here in just under 1 minute. So we are going to step away, get some last minute stuff taken care of. And when we come back, it will be time for qualifying. They have 2 laps to get around this 2.21 mile track. 13 turns. So we're going to be following people like Jason Berg, Brian Barnes, and Sean Brightsman to see how they do here in qualifying. All right, 16 drivers here tonight, and you see right there the times being reset for qualifying, 10 minutes on the clock. These drivers are not going to be able to play around. They are going to have to get out on this track as quickly as possible to put in times. I know on the ovals, they can kind of wait for a cloud to roll over here, but you can see the sky there. Cloud's not going to be an issue here tonight, as it looks like the first one to come out onto the track here, as we'll pull up your qualifying bar, is going to be the 08 of Jesse Gray, as well as Daniel Masters, James Thurston, Brian Barnes, Jason Berg, and Chris White, all coming out onto the track here for the first time tonight in qualifying. We'll see how they do, as we've got that 08 iRacers Lounge podcast, USPS number 8 Chevy Camaro. Again, how will qualifying go? I keep an eye on Berg. And some of these guys, I expect to see them at the top of the charts here for qualifying. It's just a matter of how it would go. Again, there are no cautions here tonight except for local cautions, so no full course cautions. And of course, we will have no waiver rounds, no lucky dog, anything like that. So if you go a lap down, you are going to have to fight your way back to get on the lead lap the hard way here tonight. Again, at the moment, nobody has officially put in a time, as obviously they have to get around this track, and it is a 2.2 mile track. It is a massive track here. So let's zoom out a little bit if we could, and you can get an idea for this track, as no laps have officially put in. Actually, let's go here if we could. Let's go to the aerial coverage cam here tonight for qualifying, brought to you by Sames Ford out of Corpus Christi, Texas. As you see right there, a good bird's eye view of this track, and you'll see just how they have to get around this. Obviously, those cones blocking it off going down the straightaway here, as you can see the top 10 there in the standings here for qualifying. But again, nobody has put in a lap yet. They have to take the entire course and then come back around for lap number 1. So it's going to take all of their time here. They have to get out quickly, and that's what everybody is doing right now. As obviously we've been following the 08 of Jesse Gray. We do have other drivers out on the track. We do have Brian Barnes back here out on the track as well. And one that we're going to keep an eye on, of course, if he's on the track, there he is. That is going to be Jason Berg, but he has not come out yet. So we'll go over to Jesse Gray in the 08 machine. Again, laps are going to slowly come in, but they will come in here momentarily. All right, again, the question will be, who will be your pole sitter here tonight? This is a standing start, so as soon as they start taking to the grid, we will go ahead and go through your Walls Beard Co. starting grid, as we will not have a pacing lap around here to do that. So that is another thing that's different here tonight, is our normal pace lap here for qualifying will not be, as we're going to take a look. It's going to be Brian Barnes that's at the top of the charts here at the moment in the number 4 machine with a 1 minute 24 second .434. James Thurston in that number 2 machine right behind him, and that is going to be a minute 25.289. Jesse Gray, who we were following there for quite some time, minute 26.826. And a little squirmy there, Daniel Masters in 4th place in the 03 machine with a minute 28.908 here in qualifying. And those are the only times in so far. We'll keep an eye out for everyone else. The 24 of Jeff Stabnow with a brand new silver and blue paint job out here tonight. A nice looking ride out there for that 24 of Jeff Stabnow. But again, times will be coming in here momentarily. Again, as we have 5 in, let's go back, and that's going to be Seth Frazier at the moment. He is 4th fastest with a minute 28.881, as he gets just ahead of Daniel Masters by .027, so not by much, but he is going to take 4th place, make it 5th place now, as Gary Nichols is going to jump to 3rd with a minute 25.944. And even he is going to get dropped a spot from the number 83, that Elgato Gaming Toyota Tundra, Toyota Camry. That is going to be Chris White with a minute 25:2:97. He's going to bring it to a stop and pull it off the course. Let's go and check in Rob Stewart, putting in a time now on the number 76 machine, as he's going to run a minute 26:061. He will be your fifth fastest driver here at the moment. James Thurston sitting on a pit road here at the moment. Let's go back here just a little bit. James Vining, 7th place, a minute 28:492 is going to be his time. We'll see how it goes. Again, these guys have one fast repair here tonight. Some of them may be using it quite early. We'll see. But again, they are going to be doing a standing start. They are not going to be doing a rolling start. That has plagued Jeff Stabnow tremendously here in this and the Truck Series. He just cannot seem to get the standing start down. He has done about 5 times. He's messed up about 3, but he's got 2 of those. So those were the last 2. We'll see if that trend continues or if it's back to the black flags here for Jeff Stabnow on the starts. But Bill Ross Jr. currently second fastest with a minute 25:170. Let's check in. Rob Stewart just swapped spots with Gary Nichols to take 5th place with a minute 25:5:53. So he will gain 1 spot there as he swaps 5th and 6th with Gary Nichols. Jeff Stabnow still out on the track, but does not have a timed lap in just yet. So it'll be interesting to see if he does. Jason Berg does not have a lap in either. Jason Berg is out on the track, but does not have a timed lap in, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes here with 3 minutes left on the clock. So again, the time is running out for some of these guys. Sean Breitzman in that number 46 Walls Beard Co. Toyota Camry here tonight. What kind of time will he put in as well? We'll see momentarily. Casey Tillman out on the track. Stephen Paulson out on the track. Roy Grandy is not coming out onto the track. He has been out there at least once. He does have a time in, but not a fastest time. As we're going to look, Jason Berg at the top of the charts right now in that 21 machine with a minute 22:973 as he jumps again to the top of the charts. And of course, right now, Jeff Stabnow is currently 7th fastest with a minute 25:942. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that aerial coverage there since we're not in it anymore, so you can see the rest of these guys. And again, Jeff Stabnow, 7th fastest. The question is, where these others stack up? Casey Tillman, Stephen Paulson, and Sean Breitzman are out on the track here with a minute 55 left to go. Will they go to the top of the charts? Well, we're going to find out here momentarily. As Stephen Paulson's going to go up to 6th place, now make it 7th with a minute 25:5:48. Jeff Stabnow to 3rd fastest with a minute 24:889. He's going to pull it to a stop. He says, I'm done. That's as good as it's going to get. We'll go to Sean Breitzman and Casey Tillman, who have not put in times just yet. Well, what kind of times will they put in is the question, as time's winding down here for qualifying. All right, again, Casey Tillman, Sean Breitzman, the 2 drivers left on the track. The number 92 of Casey Tillman is who you're watching here at the moment. Sean Breitzman in the 46, we were just watching him. And time is winding down. I'm not sure if they're going to have enough time to complete a lap or not. Here with 42 seconds left to go. And it looks like Casey Tillman will. He'll jump to 11th with a minute 29:252. So he'll at least have a starting position. Sean Breitzman may be in jeopardy here with 29 seconds left to go. I don't think he's going to be able to complete a lap or not. We will go ahead and get rid of your qualifying off the screen. We'll keep your driver bar up here, and you can see right there, fast lap. There is no lap here for the 46 of Sean Breitzman. The only one that has not completed a lap other than Sean Breitzman is going to be Roy Grandy, and he does. Sean Brightsman to third place as he'll drop his teammate Jeff Stabnow 1 with a minute 24:302. So Sean Brightsman does put in a time, as that will do it for qualifying. It is time to jump over to your starting grid here tonight. And we've got to jump right into it, as we are not going to have much time. So let's go through it. Your Walls-Beard Co. starting grid on row 1 is going to be the 21 of Jason Berg. On the outside of him is going to be the 4 of Brian Barnes. Row 2 is going to be the 46 of Sean Brightsman and the 24 of Jeff Stabnow. Row 3 is going to be the 17 of Bill Ross Jr. and the 2 of James Thurston. Row 4 is going to be the 83 of Chris White and the 58 of Stephen Paulson. Row 5 is going to be the 76 of Rob Stewart and the 8 of Gary Nichols. Row 6 is going to be the 08 of Jesse Gray and the 92 of Casey Tillman. In row 7 is going to be the 333 of James Vining and the 32 of Seth Frazier. Row 8 is going to be the 03 of Daniel Masters, and the first one not taking a time here tonight, that is going to be the 51 of Roy Grande, and I'm not even sure he's going to take to the grid. We'll see. Row 9, well, there is no row 9. 16 drivers here tonight, and they are still getting in. It looks like Roy is going to be making the call here. He didn't take a time, but he is going to be making the call for the race. As right there you can see that Precision Racing Products here on that number 21 of Jason Berg. An awesome looking ride back there. We'll go back a few spots here. More than a few, as we got a few drivers not on the grid yet. We're waiting on Sean Brightsman in the 46. He is now on the grid, as we are just about ready to get this thing going. Zoom out just a little bit, and that green flag will be coming out momentarily here as you're watching the Northwest Xfinity Series presented by Walls-Beard Co. Live on Virtual Racing Network, a sim division of RaceOnTexas.com. But the green flag is in the air, and we are racing on lap 1 of 50. It's not going to be a very long race as far as laps go, but with a 2.2 mile track, it will take a little bit of time to get around this track here tonight, and we'll cover all the action from green to checkered here tonight, and that's exactly how it will go. No caution's going to be playing a factor in tonight's race, although some of these guys may potentially want it to, depending on how their night goes. They may want those cautions to shake things up and get them back into the mix. That is definitely not good, Travis. We got the 24 Jeff Stabnow going around. As we were reading chat there, we're going to try to catch him. Jeff Stabnow going around early in this race. That'll put him at the very back of the pack, as we won't have any cautions here tonight. However, we will take a very quick look at this here, and you'll see what happened to the 24 Jeff Stabnow. Again, here in the replay, this is a replay of what you saw. He's running third place, comes right in here and just loops it around, and around he goes to do that. It looks like he has some damage to the back of the car. I'm wondering if he got maybe hit on the start, as he's going to pull it right there. And we'll go back to live here for the 24. He's back on the back bumper here of the 8 of Gary Nichols. We'll see if he can get by him. But again, a small field here. This track, obviously, a lot of guys had to buy it. Some of them didn't have it. So we do have a smaller field. But still 16 drivers here for tonight's race. So still a sizable field nevertheless. But what a race already here, as we've already seen the 24 Jeff Stabnow go into the grass. And he wondered how he would do here tonight coming into this race. And, well, so far, not going quite the way he wants. He does get by Gary Nichols, though. But Jason Berg, no surprise. He's out front leading this race here at the moment. Let's go up close and personal to him. As second place going to be right behind him. That's going to be the 4 Brian Barnes. And by I say right behind him, we're talking 2 seconds already a gap there between the two, and another 5 seconds from the leader. That is James Thurston. He's got his hands full right now with Chris White in that number 83 Elgato Toyota Camry here tonight. We'll see if he's able to get by him That is a very bright yellow car that Chris White painted for this race. So we'll see if that new paint job does bring him any luck here on the road course, as we're on lap number 3 of 50 here tonight. Well, that will be the question, as we're just now getting fast laps in. Is Sean Brightsman going to take a little off course there and go riding through the dirt just a little bit? But no surprise there. These guys will go off a little bit as the 2 goes around. Let's go back and take a look. That is James Thurston that goes around. Let's quickly go back and take a look and see what happened here to the number 2 of James Thurston. As the caution, again, the caution's not going to come out. He just loops it around right in front of the 83 of Chris White and Sean Brightson in that 46. Keeps it going, so nice save here for him. As, he will not lose but 2 positions off of that. So surprisingly enough, he keeps it going. And that is going to pad the lead even more for Jason Berg with a 5-second lead over second place here at the moment. And here's where we're going to go here for the moment. Seth Frazier. You got Daniel Masters, Seth Frazier, James Vining, and Jeff Stabnow all bunched up here together. Probably one of the best battles we have going on. It makes it hard to cover these, especially when you're by yourself. There goes the 03. He's going to hit the inside wall. That is going to be Daniel Masters. We watched that live, so no need to go back to the replay for it. It just loops it around and hard into the inside wall there with those tires. Good news, those tires may have saved him just a little bit, but he still gets into him as he loops it around. We go back up here to Jeff Stabnow, who's trying to run down the 333 of James Vining. Again, Jeff Stabnow started 3rd, fell all the way to about 15th or so, and he has worked his way back up to 11th. So it's going to take him some time, but he can probably gain most of his spots back throughout the night. It's going to take him a lot of time to do so. We'll see how he does go, and he's going to get by the 333 of James Vining here. So James Vining going to concede that spot. I don't think he's going to put too much of a fight up here early in this race, especially on a road course. It's just crazy. You got to time your stuff well, and once you get by someone, you pretty much have to let them go. You're not going to battle them on the outside. You've got to make these turns perfectly. If not, you're going to end up in the grass or the sand. And if you get stuck in that sand, it is a nightmare to get out of. So you do not want to get caught in a sand trap here at any road course. So the question will be, who will win this race tonight? It is going to be a doozy of a race to figure it out. Right now, your leader is the 21 of Jason Berg, and he has a currently 7-second lead, almost 8 seconds ahead of Brian Bard. That is just ridiculous. Chris White behind him has a 10-second lead over Chris White and Sean Brightsman, but that is the battle for 3rd position right now between the 83 of Chris White and the 46 of Sean Brightsman. We'll just keep these laps going here as we have 45 to go when they get to the line. We still have a ton of racing left here tonight, and it is getting very interesting between some of these drivers as, again, some of them really close together, some of them kind of spread out. We have different scenarios going for everyone here. Let's go to Sean Brightsman here and go on board with him just for a lap or so, and see what it's like to be in his shoes as we go on board. All right, again, just a little bit as you see Chris White go off the track just a little bit And that is all it takes here, is that's going to allow Sean Brightsman to get to the outside, but he's still side-by-side battling for third position, as Brand Barnes is ahead of them for second, but it's not going to be enough. That little bit of a bobble there is going to allow Sean Brightsman to get by Chris White to third position. And that is, again, just how little it does take, as we got to the 03 of Daniel Masters going around. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened to him. And no, it doesn't go off there, but he somehow gets beyond the tire barrier. And I'm not sure what happened here. Just didn't break enough, goes through the sand, and right there just hammers those tires. And that is going to cause him a lot of damage. He's going to be stuck on pit road. Looks like his night's going to be done here, a few laps shy of what he would like it to be. We'll see if he's able to use that fast repair after towing it back out onto the track and do some laps. Again, they're second, third, and fourth. Sean Brightsman was able to get by Chris White, and he's already pulled away from him by 0.883. So he's pulled away to a significant little gap between those two. We'll just have to kind of wait and see if it does grow, and it is now 1.166 seconds. So the gap is starting to grow there between third and fourth place. Let's go back to fifth place. It's right there. That is the two of James Thurston. He's had troubles of his own here tonight, but still being able to hang on to a top five as he looped it around, kept it going, and probably one of the most impressive saves we've seen in quite some time here in the Northwest Xfinity Series. Stephen Paulson in the 58 right behind him in sixth place, but just not quite able to run him down to try to take fifth from him. Rob Stewart currently is sitting in seventh place at the moment. He is in that number 76 machine and doing a good job. The 08 of Jesse Gray to pull that up there. Started 11th. He's up to 8th, so he has worked his way through this field as well. So several drivers having issues early on in this race. We'll check in with Jeff Stabnow, who just passed the 92 of Casey Tillman. That will put him in ninth position in the race here at the moment. As you see right there, this is what we're talking about. He started fourth, started third, but he started fourth and dropped all the way back to 15th. And now he is fighting his way to ninth. So he is climbing back through this field here tonight. And I expect to see good things from him here if he can get back to the front. Again, what a different track. These guys are not used to it. Some of these just getting their first laps on this track as they were coming to the race. So it's definitely a handful of a track if you want to come to one. To not have any laps on it when you come here and literally jump right into the race, it is almost insane out there. As it looks like Daniel Masters is going to call it a night. So he is done here. And looks like we still have Bill Ross. Oh, no, Bill Ross did connect. So at the moment, Daniel Masters is out of the race. He will be our first one. We still have 15 drivers left on the track here at the moment. As you again are watching the Northwest Xfinity Series presented by Walls Beard Co. live here on Virtual Racing Network. And while we have this, you got a little bit of a battle going on here. Seth Frazier, someone I'm surprised to see back as far as he is, running down Gary Nichols here. As we'll pull it up here. Seth Frazier started 14th, he's in 13th, so he has gained one spot, but just not really moving through the field like I thought. Maybe we'll see him later on tonight moving through this field. And while we have it here, let's go ahead and go to your Sames Ford aerial cam here tonight. Just give you an idea, as you can see right there, you have cars going one way, cars going the other. They are going lots of different directions here. As you see right there, that is how we come around this loop here. And around we go. And let's go ahead, let's get rid of that, and let's bring up your running order here tonight. As you see right there, we'll at least show you the top 10. And then we'll go through the remainder here. Of course, there's 16 drivers on a track, or that started anyway, 15 of them on track, and I stand corrected. Roy Grande has been on pit road now. Let's go back and take a quick look and see what happened to him here. And we're going to go back just a little bit more, and right there we'll see what happened to the 51 of Roy Grande as he gets it a little loose. And I believe it's going to go in, just drives it into a little hot maybe, and goes into the sand. We're about to find out. It does, tries to lock it up, but into the sand he goes, and he'll have to go to pit road, but I'm not sure if just going through there, that may have really damaged those tires and put some gunk on them that he didn't need. And he is back in the grass once again as we go back to live. And it looks like we're going to have Jesse Gray going off course there just a little bit as well. Again, they slow down so much on these tracks here for these road courses. In the corners, it's almost impossible to see if they're spinning unless they literally go down to about 20, 30 miles an hour. It's very difficult to see who's spinning. We thought we might have had James Vining there spinning as he got down to 45 miles an hour, and it was just a tight curve that he had to get around. So again, while we think we may see someone going around, they're not necessarily doing that. It's just a little hairpin turn that they have to slow drastically down for. Definitely makes it very difficult to find all the stuff going on the track. But this is probably one of the best, closest battles anyway, going on here between James Viney, Gary Nichols, and Seth Frazier back here for 10th, 11th, and 12th. Sorry, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Even though at the moment there's just not a whole lot going on. Well, while we have it here, let's go up to your race leader. And we're going to go, when he gets to the line, we're going to go one lap around it. We might just go ahead, we'll just go on board with him. And we're going to take a lap around this track, a little overlap here with your race leader from his helmet cam if we could. And just see what it's like to be Jason Berg here. So again, we're going to go silent on the mic and let you take a lap around Mid-Ohio here with your race leader, the 21 of Jason Berg. Alright, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, as that was a lap around this track with your race leader, Jason Berg, as he gets around 17 of Bill Ross Jr. That's going to put him a lap down, as well as Roy Grande, who is on the track, and no, not on the track. He's into the grass. Let's go back and take a quick look and see what happened here. Again, I believe probably just got a little hot there, would be my guess. Came in a little too hot, and he does. Nope, he makes it through there. And right there, just gets on the gas maybe a little bit too soon. And around she goes into those tires once again. As we go back up to live, let's go up to about 8th place here with Jeff Stab. Now, we haven't talked about him here in quite some time. He has worked his way to 8th place again. Started 3rd, fell all the way back to 15th. He's up to 8th place right now, so he is definitely working his way through this field. And unfortunately, we don't have a way to talk to anybody here tonight. I mean, we could, but with him on the track, we do not want to disturb them from concentrating there by pulling them on to the radio. That probably would not be the best idea here, as they need to concentrate on hitting their marks. But Sean Brightsman, again, I want to point out right now that 46, his first laps on this track were, 14 laps ago. He's completed 14 laps of this race, and those are the first 14 laps he has had on this track, period. So to see him in 2nd place, we told you there's a reason to keep an eye on him, and that's why right there, 14 laps is what he has completed, and that's how many he's ever put on this track. So it'll be interesting to see if he can possibly get the win here from Jason Berg. But just so you know, you can see it right there. There is nearly a 15-second gap between 1st and 2nd place at the moment. It is utterly insane just how good the 21 of Jason Berg is on these road courses. He always picks somebody else to be the winner when he knows he's going to be fast on these road courses. And we'll just have to kind of wait and see if Sean Brightson's going to have anything for him later on tonight. Chris White, however, having a solid finish himself, if he finishes there anyway. Solid run in 3rd place. And number 83, Machine. And as you can see here at the moment, as we go through this field here just a little bit, there's just not a whole lot of anything going on. Brian Barnes may give something to Jeff Stabnow there in a little bit. We'll keep an eye on that. But again, they are very spread out. Not a whole lot going on here at the moment. So we are going to step away here for our first commercial break. And we will be right back here momentarily as we'll go and kind of give a recap of where everybody is on the track and where they started.
Say command.
What is the weather like in LA?
The weather is clear in LA.
What is the weather like in New York?
The weather is rain in New York.
Use flow mode.
Flow.
Say hello, TT.
Hello, TT.
Alright, we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, let's run through your field here tonight. We'll run through your top 10, starting with 1st place here at the moment. Let's pull it up. He started in 1st. He's in 1st right now, and he hasn't been out of 1st. He currently has a 15.482 second lead over your 2nd place driver. That is the 21 of Jason Berg in second place, and he's going to come down pit road. So let's hold off on that here for a minute. We'll go through it as we're going to have people come down at pit road while we were under caution, but our leader is going to come down pit road now and take fuel here, as we knew they were going to have to come down and take fuel. We didn't have a window on it, but Jason Berg having to back up on pit road. This is going to cost him some time. Sean Brightsman's on pit road as well, and that'll probably give the lead to Sean Brightsman. The question is it going to be enough, as he's already taking those tires? And I don't think it's going to hurt Jason Berg, as he's off and going. He had enough of a lead that it's not going to hurt him too much here, as there goes Sean Brightsman off of pit road now. So unfortunately, he is not going to, fortunately for him, he's not going to lose a whole lot. He lost 10 seconds on pit road, though, but he had enough of a lead that Sean Brightsman was not able to capitalize too much off of it. However, he was able to gain a little bit of time. Brian Barnes still sitting in third place right now, and Casey Tillman has not come down pit road here at the moment. Neither has Jesse Gray or Seth Frazier. Everybody else has completed their first round of pit stops here, and looking at this, about 17 or so laps. We'll see, roughly about 17 laps. So doing the math there, we'll round it to 15. You can do the math on that one. To be 15, 30, 45, and 60. So it's going to be about a 3-stop race here tonight for fuel, and I would imagine they're going to get some tires as well. So tires and fuel going to be pretty much the determining factors. If you take 2, you could gain some time, but the way these cars are handling right now, and people not being familiar with this track, I don't know if 2 tires is going to be a good call or not. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that to see if anybody does opt to take those 2 tire calls or not later on in this race. Something definitely to look forward to watching, to see if anybody does do it. And coming down pit road is going to be the 92 of Casey Tillman. He is one of 3 drivers that hadn't come down yet. Of course, Seth Frazier. Oh, we got a Seth Frazier going around trying to get on pit road, I do believe. Let's go and take a look here and see what happened. He's on pit road now, but that was not the case just about 10 seconds ago. Is right there. He goes to get on pit road in the middle, a little bit of contact with the 76 and the 08 there involved. Let's go back and take one more quick look at this and see what happened here between the 32, and not a good angle there to see anything. Let's see. And was there? Indeed, there was contact as he was going to the high side. The 76 of Rob Stewart gets to his back bumper, and that is going to send him around. Cautions, of course, will not come out since this is a road course. There's only local cautions. We go back to live. Jason Berg still out front already, doubled his lead over Sean Brightsman from 5 seconds to 9 seconds, so make it 10 here in the next little bit. So that little backup, what do you want to call it, mistake on pit road, not going to cost him too terribly much. That is terrific news for him, that will not hurt him any more than it did on pit road. Again, it could have spelled disaster for your leader, but he had such a lead that it really only cost him about 10 seconds. So Sean Brightsman not able to capitalize off of it. At the moment, though, just to recap, Roy Grande in the 51 is out of the race. Daniel Masters in the 03 out of the race. James Vining, the only car on track, a lap down. Everybody else is on the lead lap, but here at the moment, they are completely spread out on this track. So you're watching your leader here, Jason Berg, about to put, I believe that's the 8 it is, the 8 of Gary Nichols, a lap down. So Unfortunately, some of these drivers are not going the way they wanted to here, as Gary Nichols and Seth Frazier onto the chopping block here, ready to go a lap down when the 21 of Jason Berg gets up to them. And I want to point out here that we are now 6 laps away from being at the halfway point. We complete lap 25. We will officially be at the halfway point for tonight's race, and it has been a good one so far, even though they've been kind of spread out. Well, let's see. Let's go here through the field just a little bit here. And there you see Jason Berg barely trying to get by the 8 of Gary Nichols. Maybe Gary Nichols raced him a little harder than he wanted him to, or it might have just been a simple little thing there. He was trying to overtake and almost had to go into the grass to do so. Going through here to see if we see any battles going on. Let's go up to Jason Berg and go here, as he's going to let the 32, no problem, is going to let him by. He knows he's the leader. Those two race each other quite a bit in another, I believe, the Northwest Tour Series is what it's called. So no surprise that those two are going to race each other clean. Jeff Stabnow still back in 8th with a little bit of damage, as hasn't been able to move quite past that 8th place position after he fell to 15th, but he did start 3rd, so we'll see if he can get that back here at the moment. People are starting to go a lap down, as that's going to be the 2 of James Thurston that is in the grass, so he is going to get it back under power here. And it looks like possibly going to tow. No, I think he's just waiting on drivers to come by, as the local caution is out. There's several cars going. And here at the moment, spinning his tires in the grass. I'm not sure what the deal may be with the car, as it is firing but not going anywhere, folks. So it is under power, but not going anywhere here at the moment. We'll check in with him here in just a minute and see if something changes. But again, the car under fire, and now he's going to be on pit road. So give us just a minute here, folks. We'll see if we can't get James Thurston on the radio to figure out what might have happened there to him, as we do see him. So give us 1 second. He's actually in the silent room, so we do not have a way to talk to him. We'll see if we can pull him up here with us real quick, as he is on a pit road here at the moment. James Thurston, you got a copy? James Thurston, you got a copy? This is Cody in the booth. Alright, it looks like we are not going to be able to get a copy with him. But he is now sitting on pit road. He's been there for just about a minute or so. So unfortunately, not going to be able to get a word in with him. As we're just kind of going through this field, trying to find the next little battle going on, as they are super spread out here at the moment. Gary Nichols having some connection issues here. Seth Frazier not having the run that we're used to seeing from him. So, definitely just not his night here tonight. We'll see him back in the front of the pack sometime here at the next track, depending on where we go. I believe Iowa. I'm not sure how his short track racing is, but I do expect to see him up there and running for the lead very soon. So again, just really spread out here at the moment. First round of pit stops has been completed. As again, just super spread out, not a whole lot going on here at the moment. So we'll just have to keep an eye. We're gonna cycle through the fields here and see what we find going on, but nobody's really pushing it too hard here, I don't think, to determine how they're gonna do. But we will say that Jeff Stabnow did gain 1 more position here, as he's in 7th place. He did give Casey Tillman here at the moment. So again, just not a whole lot going on here at the moment. We have 9 drivers on the lead lap. Those drivers include Jason Berg, Sean Brightsman, Brian Barnes, Chris White, Stephen Paulson, Rob Stewart, Jeff Stabnow, and we've got Sean Brightsman going around, and he will lose second place. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened as he was running so smooth here tonight. And coming into the corner here, right there, just loops it around into the grass he goes. Almost saves it from going into the sand, but he does go in just a little bit, and he will lose one spot, but he is still ahead of Chris White here at the moment. And just there, let's take a look here. Look how bright it is here where Sean Brightsman is on the track. Now look how dark it is over here where Chris White is. The clouds are playing a huge factor in tonight's race. The clouds definitely going to be playing that factor there. So we are on lap 24 of 50 at the moment. We have 27 laps to go. All right, they're taking care of stuff. While we have a little bit of a break in the action here going on, again, just not a whole lot going on the track here at the moment. Let's go up to your race leader here. Let's go ahead and let's jump over to some information of upcoming stuff here. So we're going to go, let's go to your aerial cam here tonight, just to let everyone know what's upcoming here for the Northwest Xfinity Series. Of course, we're at Mid-Ohio here tonight for 50 laps. We are at the halfway point right now, and we'll complete the halfway point this next time by for your South Texas Speedway mid-race report coming up soon. All right, now coming up here next week is going to be Iowa Speedway, followed by Kentucky, Michigan, and Daytona. Here to round out June, and of course July 1st, and then of course we'll be off July 8th. Then we come back for Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and then we are off for 2 weeks as we come back once again for Bristol Motor Speedway on August 5th. So some really good racing coming your way here for the Northwest Xfinity Series. Again, the Truck Series will be off this Thursday, so we will not be doing that. And a big shout out to Chris over from Turn 3 Racing Network. He's going to be covering our Thursday series, as of course we have a prior arrangement on that particular day for a race on Texas. So a big shout out to him for covering that. So Chris, if you're out there watching, we'll get you all the information and all of that good stuff here tomorrow. But a big shout out for him is, again, we will be covering that race on Texas. That is the Stock Car 50. I believe it's $5,000 to win. So if you got nothing else to do or just love dirt track racing, you can turn into raceontexas.com for some racing action. I believe for both nights you can watch it live for $35. Or $25 for Saturday and $19 for Friday, so tune in for that. But again, right now there's just not a lot going on here on the track at the moment. As again, we're going through the fields here. Jeff Stabnow still in 7th place, really hasn't been able to progress just because there's 7th place him and there's 6th place. The gap between the two is quite significant, as you can't even see 7th place right now behind Rob Stewart. So unfortunately, some drivers out of the race here early. Daniel Masters in the 03, the 51 of Roy Grande. James Thurston sitting on pit road. We'll see if he makes it back out a little bit later on tonight. But again, unfortunate for some of our drivers to be out early in the race. But while we don't have a whole lot going on, we're going to step away for one more commercial break. And we will be right back.
This is a demonstration for the built-in water temperature sensor of W5 CPU water block. There is a water temperature sensor built inside W5 to detect the temperature of the coolant that runs through W5. Here, we're using thermal mode and time-lapse effect to show the temperature change of the system. You can easily see the real-time temperature change on the software screen. W5 is also made with central inlet design, which contributes to higher coolant flow that helps faster heat dispatching to achieve a lower coolant temperature, of which you can see on the software thanks to the water temperature sensor. While W5 shows you the temperature of the coolant that runs through your CPU water block, you can also throw in a Pacific TF1 indicator to monitor the temperature and coolant flow of your whole system.
All right, we are back here as we do have the two of James Thurston with us here in the booth real fast, who is on pit road, and obviously just before we went live there, not happy about what happened. So if you could, to what exactly happened there? It looked like the whole transmission was gone or something. The car was firing, but just wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, we had a couple spins early on. Wheel hopped it. That had nothing to do with other than just losing time. But that particular one, as I was going around the back half of the course, all of a sudden I started looking out the right side of my car, and I knew Steven was right behind me, so I got off the track as quickly as I could. But then I just lost all pedals and some wheel connectivity, so not really sure what's going on with it, but that's why I ended up having to park it, and when I turned off my wheel, my engine revved, and then I proceeded to blow my engine. So,
well, it's one of those things. Apparently, when it rains, it pours. As obviously, you're not the first person here. We've been having several people here of wheel and pedal failures lately. So, definitely not what you want to see. When you think about having a bad day at one of these tracks, are you kind of glad it's at a track like this and not necessarily, at a track one that's you really think you have a good shot at winning?
Well, that's a loaded question because having a good shot at winning with these guys is a tough order. There are guys in here that no matter what track it is, I'm going to be looking at their rear tail lights. I was a little disappointed. I put a little bit more practice into this than I normally would. I do like the road courses. This is a fun track, and I think I had a top 5 car, barring any spins or self-inflicted wounds, and if something would have happened up in front of me, maybe a little bit better. So from that aspect, I'm a little disappointed. I do enjoy road racing, but there's always next week, or in 2 weeks, and we'll get them again on the ovals.
Oh, we'll definitely be looking for you. We always look to see you have a good finish there, as we just watched the 333 of James Vining go around. But any shout out you want to give to your sponsors on that car that got you here tonight, and again, just helped you get here?
First of all, thank you, Charles, and VRN for broadcasting these races. They're a lot of fun to watch. Of course, Walls Beard Code for sponsoring the series, and all the guys that put in the efforts. Jeff, Mark, Sean, they make this a lot of fun and enjoyable to race. And finally, or not finally, I'd like to thank the guys from Tool to Forza, and then most importantly, I'd like to thank my wife. She's the one who puts up with this and allows me to replace parts as they get broken and feeds the habit. So special thanks to her.
All right. Well, hopefully next time we talk to you, be under better circumstances, and we'll get you back down to the race room.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. All right. Again, that was the two of James Thurston there, as we're talking to him just for a little bit here. We have it's going to be 20 laps to go this next time by for your race leader, who is 18 seconds ahead. Normally, 18 seconds ahead, we would be saying He's about to lap some people, but that's over second place. That is not even remotely close to lapping anyone here tonight, as it takes about a minute 29 to get around this track. However, you go back to Casey Tillman in the 92, Jeff Stabnow in the 24. These guys right now a minute to 26 gap, a minute 23 gap. They could potentially be going a lap down here soon, as we're watching Jeff Stabnow come down at pit road for his pit stop here. And Jeff Stabnow's comment to us earlier here is depending on how his night went, he may complete a few laps and park it. He did not do that. He's having a decent run here. Obviously, we know Jeff Stabnow's potential. 2 wins in a row on the Truck Series. Of course, here in the Xfinity tonight, not having the best of luck, but with 20 to go, his luck could still change. He's 1 lap down, but that is obviously because your leaders have not come down. And there comes the 83 of Chris White. He is going to make a pit stop here. So the question will be, who will be your winner? As of right now, I have a feeling it's going to be Jason Berg, as we are going to have to come down one more time. I do believe we did not get a confirmation on that. They could possibly be able to make it 20 laps and are short pitting on these. We'll see, though. 20 laps ago, as you see the 83 of Chris White come out of pit road. There is your race leader, though. That is the 21 of Jason Berg. He still leads this race, and I'm not sure when he's going to come down at pit road, but it looks like Chris White. No, Chris White slowed down, but I'm not sure who that was. That was Gary Nichols that was spun around. So let's go back and take a quick look here. Is Chris White, your 5th place car, almost getting tangled up in this? And I'm not too sure he didn't, just a little bit. He did tag him, and he had to slow way down to avoid getting any further into the aid of Gary Nichols. And that's going to cost him quite a bit of time on the track. Is Chris White now going to be still in 5th, but he is going to be 47 seconds behind your race leader right now. That is a very, very tough deficit to overcome. Oh, it will be interesting to see if he's able to overcome it. Is anybody going to be able to overcome what is Jason Berg? And Nick Robbins, welcome to the stream. Not sure if you're still there with us here tonight, Nick, but if you are, welcome to the chat. And hopefully we'll get to hang out with Nick this Thursday before that live stream. Is obviously Nick gets the night off again this Thursday from doing the series we usually cover. We are not going to be covering it, someone else is. Of course, it still will be VRN, but just on behalf. It will be one of someone else, a hired gun, you might say, bringing in Chris over there from Turn 3 Racing Network to cover it for us, as we're going to be doing that live look-in this weekend. So we'll see how it goes for Monarch Motor Speedway, as Race on Texas is going to be out there. Myself filming. That is assuming we don't have rain, as we have 50% chance of rain just about every day this week. And we've already seen some tremendous downpours here. As earlier, we didn't even know if we were going to make this race, folks. This morning, starting at about 7 a.m., we had the power go out 4 times. And finally, it came back on, and then it went off, and it just stayed off for about an hour or so. Then it did come back on, and we are here watching this race, as it looks like Rob Stewart's going to come down pit road. He gives up 4th position, and that's going to allow Chris White to take 4th back, as Rob Stewart going to come down. But Jason Berg, as I've been down 3 laps ago, he's still your race leader. Stephen Paulson has not come down yet. And again, not coming down, a different strategy here. I'm not sure how it's going to play out, as he'll come down here in a minute. But again, Jason Berg, Brian Barnes were down 3 laps ago. And Stephen Paulson has not come down. There's not going to be a caution to hang on to and see if he can possibly work it out that way. So it's going to be different to see how the strategy is here for the 58 of Stephen Paulson. He is one of few that haven't come down. Casey Tillman has not. Seth Frazier has not come down, and Jesse Gray has not come down as well. So just to update here at the moment, Jeff Stabnow, Seth Frazier, Bill Ross Jr., Gary Nichols, Jesse Gray, and James Vining are all 1 lap down. James Vining actually 2 laps down. James Thurston, Roy Grande, and Daniel Masters out of the race here, a few laps shorter than they wanted to be. But unfortunately, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And in this case, it crumbled pretty badly for some of these drivers as their night came to an abrupt end early here. 28 laps down, 22 laps, 13 laps. And it looks like we're going to have Stephen Paulson still sitting on pit road. And he is taking it looks like he's going to go 4 tires here. He's not going to take 2. I will point out here, as Jesse Gray's on pit road as well, we talked about some drivers taking 2 tires versus 4. The last time by that Chris went into the pits, 8.2 seconds. He took 2 tires on his last stop, and so did Jason Berg, 5.7 seconds. Not only did he come down and take 2 sides, he barely took enough fuel there. It'll be interesting to see if he will make it to the end of this race. I'm not sure if they've been short pitting and they could possibly make it to the end of this race, but we have 16 laps to go with 5 laps on the stint here for that 21. I don't think they're going to be able to make it. I think they're going to have to come down again and possibly take some fuel. And if we could possibly get a word in here, we're going to have to find out one way or another if these guys are going to have to make another stop or not. So if you're in chat here with us, I know James Thurston is out there watching. What was the fuel mileage? We didn't get a window here. If we could get a driver input there for anyone out there watching, are they going to be able to make it on fuel here? And have they been short pitting earlier? And can they make it here as we have 16 laps to go, and some of these drivers have been out there for 5 to 8 laps on this set, so I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make it to the end of the race. Hopefully we can get someone out there that was in this race that's out to possibly get us a fuel window. But we are going to one last time here tonight step away to a quick commercial break, and we're also going to see if we can't get that in. And then we're getting Travis McGinney and James Thurston. Thinking can make it 18 laps and getting 15 laps. So 15 to 18 laps, they are definitely going to have to come down and pit. So one more pit stop for these guys here tonight. As we will again step away to a quick commercial break. This will hopefully be our last one of the night. And we will be back here and we'll run through your field. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, as we're watching pit stops here in 15.2 second stop for your race leader, Meanwhile, Chris White was the first one to come down pit road to make his last stop. He was on there for 9.6 seconds, took fuel only for that stop, I do believe. Regardless, he would only been able to take 2 tires, but fuel is what he needed to make it to the end. So right now, we have Casey Tillman, Chris White, and looks like we're going to have Jason Berg as well as Brian Barnes. They've made their last stop, their third and final pit stop here. Third place, Steven Paulson has not made his third stop yet. He will have to come back down. Is a little bit of a connection issue here for him. We'll jump over to Chris White here and see what is going on. We're going to have to... There we go. Switch over to it. It's Steven Paulson having some connection issues. Sean Brightsman going to come down pit road again. We had an issue earlier tonight where the connection kicked everybody from the session, and they made the statement, and you heard it from Jeff Stabnow, that at this point, if less than half the race had been completed, they would reschedule it. If over half the race had been completed, they would call it a race. That is where we're at right now. 14 to go. We are well past the halfway point here as we've completed 37 laps. We have 13 to go. Yeah, this race would definitely be over, but it looks like just an issue for Steven Paulson, not for everybody here. Tonight, we're not massively dropping people at the moment, so we'll see Casey Tillman coming down pit road for his what looks to be second stop. I'm not sure how. He should have to have a third one. It'll probably update when we get him off pit road. But Rob Stewart, Jeff Stabnow, who is back on the lead lap, and he going slow. I thought he was fixing to come down pit road. He has not completed his third stop of the night. With 7 laps on him, 13 to go. He's not going to be able to make it. He will have to come down. He's got his teammate right behind him. Seth Frazier has not come down for his third pit stop either. So we have several drivers that have not taken that third and final pit stop here tonight. Rob Stewart, there we go. Sean Brightsman is fresh out of the pits here in that 46 machine, and those tires right there, you can see what they can do for you as he's able to get by. Jeff Stabnow once again opting not to come down pit road this time because he would have had to have been on it right there. He is not going to come down. Sean Brightsman has made 4 pit stops, but still on the lead lap. Everyone else has taken 2 and 3. And with an 18-second lead, that is going to be Jason Berg in that 21 machine. He is on rails here tonight with no surprise. He is, of course, going to be the road king, as per se, around here tonight. Well, let us know out there. I know we've got a lot of people's opinion out there, but we want to get everyone's thoughts. What do you think, course, especially here at the road course, having this column down the left side of your screen versus the top bar? I know that top bar gives information too, but this one lets you keep an eye on the entire fields here tonight. You can see those gaps. So let us know what you think about that, as Brian Barnes right now with a gap of 47 seconds. You're almost looking at lap times, is what you would think they were. But again, that is the interval right now. 48 seconds. Third place, Steven Paulson is just about 30 seconds behind Brian Barnes, who is nearly 20 seconds behind the leader, Jason Berg. You go back to Chris White, 54 seconds. And you see that negative 2.48. We'll go look. That is because that is actually reversing the roll. When you see a really low number like a negative 1, 76 seconds means that's how far they are behind. It's kind of backwards the way it does. It's kind of weird. But when it goes to that low number, you see right there, it's giving you both. For Jeff Stabnow, if you watch it, negative 1.7. And it'll switch here in a minute, 82.9. That is giving you 2 different types of information here tonight, folks. That 83 seconds is how far the 24 is. Well, now it's going to change, but now you see 1 lap. That 83 seconds was how far Jeff Stabnow was behind the leader. The negative 1.7 was how far he was in front of the leader. So it gives you 2 different countdowns. It lets you know how far he is behind, and it also gives you an idea of how close the leader is. He was 1.7 seconds away, and then of course it gets lower and lower as the other one gets higher, and he ended up going a lap down. As you see, Sean Brightsman now going to be in the same boat, as he is 76 seconds behind your race leader and only 7 seconds in front of him. So that deficit will start to grow. 76 will go up, and there you see it goes up a little bit, and that 7 will go down. Sean Brightsman goes there and hits the cone, but again, was one goes up, the other goes down, and vice versa here. And that only shows you that negative number when they're within a certain distance of going a lap down. It just kind of gives you that heads up. Definitely, we don't have anything technically that shows lap times here, but I can tell you they're running about a minute 24s if you're the leader, minute 30s for a lot of people, some minute 26s. We are in the process of making brand new overlays. For Travis McKinney out there, we will definitely put that in to the books. We are not displaying or showing them off too soon. We are going to keep them completely under wraps, but we will take that into consideration, and we will make sure that some kind of counter with lap times does make it in, so you can see what those lap times are here for your field. As Brian Barnes is your race leader here. It's Jason Berg. I'm not sure what happened there. We got to go back and take a look, as he was your race leader here. Something going wrong here as that deficit went way down. And there you go, right there. He just came down a pit road and gives up the lead here, as Brian Barnes is going to be your new race leader. I'm not sure. I was pretty sure he can make it on fuel, but he is going to come down and potentially go a lap down. We'll see. But coming back down pit road, I did not see that coming. These guys should be able to make it on fuel, as it looks like James Thurston's going to make it out of pit road here. I was actually seeing it coming back down pit road. I stand corrected there, but we'll see. Maybe still having an issue out there here tonight. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. Let's jump over here to Gary Nichols, who I thought was slowing down just a little bit, but he keeps it going there. Again, road course is so tough to determine who is spinning and who's just slowing down. As Brian Barnes going to go down here. He is your race leader here with 9 laps to go. And let's go around here. We haven't been on board with Brian Barnes, so let's go ahead. Let's take a lap here with him, as we'll go ahead and get rid of your sidebar here for the moment. And let's go on board with the 4, who gets real loose there. That would make sense there, as he was there for very little time. So that would make sense. And before we go on board, let's go over to Sean Brightsman, who's in the grass here with 9 laps to go. And what happened is he will officially go a lap down. And something happened here to the 46. So Sean Brightsman, what was it is the question. I think he may have just got a little loose and hits the rumble strip or the turtle, whatever you want to call it, and around he goes. Very unfortunate for him. He is going to go a lap down now. He's going to try to get it going here. But there is your new race leader. So again, we're going to go a lap on board here as we go silent. With the 4 of Brian Barnes here with 8 laps to go. All right, a little overlap there with your race leaders. We go back to our main camera. Again, 7 laps to go. Unfortunately, we get the report that Jason Berg did not put enough fuel in, or something happened. He didn't get enough fuel in the car. So Jason Berg will take second place at the moment. The gap is 5.683 seconds. This is what we're going to watch here as that gap is going. Let's go ahead and just bring your sidebar back up here for the running order. 5.766 seconds is the gap between first and second with 7 laps to go. And that gap is going to shrink, obviously, with fresh tires and fuel. It's going to be Jason Berg trying to run down Brian Barnes, 2 ridiculously good road course racers. And it'll be interesting to see how that one does go. Sean Brightsman on pit road. And it looks like his night might be done. He's been there for about 55 seconds. So while we watch Jason Berg try to run down Brian Barnes, let's see if we can't get a quick word in with Sean Brightsman. Sean Brightsman, you got a copy?
Got a copy?
Well, we see you're on pit road. You've been there for about a minute 13 now. Didn't get to see what happened there as we were trying to figure out how the lead got lost. But we found out it was a fuel issue. But what happened to that 46 machine?
Nothing. We're just off pace and getting the old famous iRacing incidents, and ran up that tally up enough that I decided to bring it into the boys here at the pit stop and get out and maybe have some ice cream.
I was about to ask that too, if you were going to have some ice cream in there. Obviously, you know, for anyone that doesn't know that reference to Days of Thunder, of course, obviously Cole Trickle in that movie was wrecking everything. You obviously not out there wrecking like he was, but you know, just 2 simple questions for you. First off, do you have any sponsors in the car? We know you do, of course, and any shout-outs you want to give for tonight's race.
I just got to thank everybody at Wicked Chassis Racing, Walls Beer Co., Virtual Racing Network, Central Welding Supply. Those are the big ones that get us here and get us tires and fuel and all that good stuff. So.
And of course, the second question here is what flavor ice cream are we going with?
I think we're gonna go with some cookies and cream.
There you go, cookies and cream for the 46 team. That did not intend to rhyme, but it did, so we're going with it. But that was the 46 of Sean Brightsman, and Sean, hopefully we'll be talking to you again in the coming weeks.
Sounds good. Thanks, Charles.
All right, that was the 46 of Sean Brightsman as we talk to him as he's going to get some ice cream. And we are too, Jason. We're watching for that battle for the lead, as that is going to be probably the highlight of this race right here. Brian Barnes is your race leader in the 4, just ahead of Jason Berg. He has cut that deficit from 9 seconds, or roughly around 9 seconds, I believe it was, to 1.3 seconds here with 5 to go. We'll see if he can do it. I wish we had about 2 laps to go. I think it would make it a nail biter at the finish, but unfortunately for the 4, Brian Barnes, I think the 21 has just enough time, but he keeps making little mistakes like that. That is going to hurt him. But Jason Berg has plenty of time here. So we're going to have 4 to go this time by. He's going to have the time he needs, I think, to get by him, assuming he doesn't make any of those little mistakes. And, you know, to make any mistakes could hurt him in the long run. Running out of fuel, or not going to have enough fuel, definitely could hurt people, a lot of people, but somehow Jason Berg manages to not put enough fuel in the car, or iRacing didn't give him enough fuel. Whatever the case may be, he had to come back down pit road, give up the lead, and now he's 0.733 seconds behind Brian Barnes, running him down for the lead. And I have a feeling, folks, he's going to catch him before this race is over. Right there you see, no doubt in my mind, that gap, again, from 7 or 9 seconds down to 0.599. He is reeling him in ever so slightly, and you see Jason Berg running as low as he can on those little rumble strips to try to make up every second he can. With two fast drivers like this, it's one thing to catch somebody, it's another thing to pass them. They're both 50 seconds ahead of third place Steven Paulson, so they really have no issues, no concerns about third place trying to catch them while they're battling. So the 21 of Berg doesn't really have to press this too terribly hard, but he definitely doesn't want to run out of time either. So it's going to be interesting, and yeah, we can see that he is pushing it really hard right now to try to get by him, and he can do that. He has about 4 laps fresher tires than Brian Barnes, and he's got that fuel, that gap now 0.5. It just hasn't quite been able to drop past there. We'll see this time by if it's going to drop to 0.4 something. As right now still sitting at 0.5, it's got to be a little bit closer than that here at the moment. Again, that timing updates at scoring loops, and we'll see if we can figure out where that scoring loop is here at the moment. And there are technically, they should right here, they're coming up on the scoring loop right there, and it is 0.466. That is the next or the last scoring loop they've come by, and now you see right there 0.383 as we're coming up on another scoring loop right here, and it's going to be 0.300. So about a tenth or so a lap he's knocking off with 2 laps to go. That is not going to be enough for him to catch him. It's going to be very close here, folks. 0.283, and he's going to try to take it to the inside, and I think he might have him here. He ties it to the inside, and it's dead even right there. You see 0.00, but it's not. It just hasn't quite updated on the timing screen. They're so close together. It's unfortunately Brian Barnes not going to be able to hold off Jason Berg for the lead. Jason Berg takes the lead back here with 2 laps to go. But do not count out that 4 Brian Barnes. I haven't yet, and you shouldn't either. He's definitely not just going to sit idly by and let Jason Berg have this win. He has so many on the season and in this series and in this league that he is definitely not going to just let him have it. Brian Barnes is such a competitive driver in his own right, such a winner in his own right, that those two will drag race this out to the very end if at all possible. But I'm just wondering if anybody, not just Brian Barnes, but if anybody has or had anything for Jason Berg in that 21 machine here tonight, as he again has been on rails here for quite some time. And there you see it, 1 lap to go, presented by Northwest Racing Series. White flag is in the air. The 21 goes around. Let's go back and take a look what happened to your race leader. Let's go to the aerial coverage and see what happened. Brought to you by Sames Ford. Was there contact between him and the 4? I don't believe so. Right there, he just gets it loose. And no contact made. He gets it loose going into the corner, turn 1 and 2. And around he goes, and that will seal it right there, folks. Unfortunately for him, he is going to maintain second place, I do believe, but Brian Barnes is set to walk away with this win unless catastrophe comes his way. There's your second place driver with a white flag in the air. Just a simple mistake on the track, gets the car loose, and around she goes. And on the last lap of all places, that is the last thing you want to see when you are leading the race. We want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. This race is almost over here, as obviously we got some dislikes out there. Somebody doesn't like the racing. That's unfortunate. Definitely been some great racing here tonight. So thanks everyone for the views, even the ones that didn't like the race. We're sorry you don't, but the checkered flag is gonna wave, and it is going to be the 4 Brian Barnes. That's your race winner here tonight, and we'll see. He's gonna park it right after the start finish line, And I'd imagine we may see a bit of a demo derby. And he's not even going to do any celebrating here, folks. He's going to pull it off. But your race winner here is going to be the 4 of Brian Barnes. And that, of course, will do it here. As we'll see your results right there. It's going to be Brian Barnes with the win. Second place is going to be Jason Bergen. Third place will be Stephen Paulson. We'll be talking to these drivers here momentarily. Fourth place will be Chris White. Fifth place, Rob Stewart. Fifth place, Rob Stewart. Sixth place, Jeff Stabnow. Seventh place, Seth Frazier. 8th place, Bill Ross Jr. 9th place, Jesse Gray. 10th place, Casey Tillman. 11th place, James Viney. 12th place, Gary Nichols. And 13th place will go to Sean Brightman. And then, of course, James Thurston out of the race. Roy Grande out of the race. And Daniel Masters out of the race. That, again, will do it. Checkered flag waved. Let's go ahead and leave that up there. We're going to get our post-race show ready here, so give us just one moment. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here for the post-race show. We have our top 3 drivers on the radio to talk to them. And, of course, we start with third place. Always that is going to be the 58 of Stephen Paulson. You know, we talked to him the other day and said we hoped he'd come in here. Well, he's going to make us have to stitch his name into the chairs. He's making it a habit to come in the booth and chat with us. Again, that is the 58 of Stephen Paulson here, sitting in third place. And what a run, Steven. It was a wild ride out there, to say the least. First road course of the season. Are you quite happy with the third place finish?
Oh yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think I might have done it by strategy, but you know, I don't have the pace of Brian, and you know, up there. So, so the whole last shift, I was just, you know, coasting and short shifting and trying to make sure Chris stayed behind me, and that was it.
Well, strategy, obviously a good plan here. This track, and we're going to ask everybody the same question here. Myself, I literally bought this track at noon today. I decided I probably should get it if I'm going to cover the race, but this isn't a track that a lot of people had, and it showed with the car count here. We had a lower car count, but still some great racing. But we want to know, at what point did you buy this track, and how much practice did you actually get in here before you came into this race lobby?
Oh, I've had the track for a while, and I think I might have done 3 fuel runs on a practice a couple days ago, and a practice yesterday maybe it was, and then today I did a fuel run. So 3 fuel runs. That's quite a bit. I usually don't get that much in.
Well, 3 fuel runs, and having the track obviously paid off for you here is the part of the strategy is actually practicing on the track. That tends to help too. So you finish in third. We know you got some sponsors and shout-outs, so who does beef that third place finish here tonight?
Oh, well, I'd just like to thank you again, and thank the league and all the work they do, and you know, and I don't really have sponsors, but we're with Atlas Finishers. I think I'm the only one. Oh no, Brian's here today. Well, way to go, Brian. And you need to get Brian up there too. I'm happy to see him win one.
All right. Well, again, congrats on the third place finish here tonight, making a habit of coming in to the booth here with us. And that brings us to the 21 of Jason Berg, who we got the word earlier, whether, I'm not sure what happened. We knew it was a fuel issue, whether it just didn't put enough in. iRacing didn't do its job and put enough in. Personally, I think you need to fire the gas man and get a new one. But something happened. You didn't get enough fuel. You had to come back in. You had about a 5 to 7 second gap between you and the leader. You reeled him in, took the lead back, and then just more incident on the track that ended up keeping you in second place tonight.
Yeah, I think watching the replay, I didn't really notice it at the time, but you can hear it and see it on the replay that when I downshifted for that first corner, it just wheel hopped and I lost it. I was just pushing too hard, trying to get away from Brian. He was running super fast, and it took everything I had to even catch him. So I was just trying to get a gap again in case I made a little mistake, but ended up making a big one. Oh well, congrats to him.
Oh, you definitely have a record of winning races. So one little boo-boo there on the track, we will not hold that against you. I'm sure we'll see you in victory lane again. Either way, you get to sit in the podium. And again, we're going to ask everyone that same question. How much practice did you have on this track coming into it? And how confident were you coming into this race?
I've driven this track before with other cars, but never this one until just the other day. But decently confident. I didn't know who all would really show up. I knew Barnes would be quick. I figured Brightsman would be fast. Stabnow, once he got the track down. McKinney, if his internet was going to hold up, I knew he'd be hard to beat. So, I was fairly confident, but still, you never know how it's going to play out, and anybody can make mistakes. So that's what happened tonight.
Definitely. You had one of the fastest cars out there. Just a simple little driving error there cost you the win, but I'm sure you'll be back in victory lane. And we know you got some sponsors on the side of that car you need to thank, and some shout-outs. So who would those be for that second place finish here tonight?
Yeah, first of all, I got to thank VRN and Northwest Racing Series, Sean and Mark and Jeff and everybody. On a great series. G-Force Aerial Media, you can check them out on Facebook or gforceaerialmedia.com. Wofford's Towing and Hall Hop Consulting.
All right. Again, congrats on second place here tonight. And getting the win here tonight, that is going to be the for Brian Barnes. And obviously a first road course of the season, and you put it in victory lane here. Obviously, you've been fast all night long, and the question here we have is, it was a really good battle between you and Jason Berg, and in your own opinion here, if you hadn't made that little bit of mistake, you think you'd have been able to get back by him?
Oh no, he was the fastest car all night long. I was definitely the second place car. Just kind of happy his fuel man made a mistake, because there was going to be no catching him. When he went in there, I went by and had that 6 second lead. I was like, great, I can hold him off for that. And then I threw it off the end of the corner, down at the end of the straightaway, and lost all that time. So. But it was that last 2 laps was a heck of a lot of fun.
It definitely was a blast. It was out here fun to watch how it all played out. But a lot of mistakes were made here, and of course that leads us to the question we have to ask everyone. It's the same question: how much practice did you have, and do you wish you had a little bit more to practice on here?
Yeah, I don't ever get as much practice as I'd like. I usually get on just when the session opens, and that's my practice. Don't get the practice guys with the guys during the week. So, but I am one of those guys that is 100% content owner. So I've had everything that iRacing puts out ever since day one. Since I've been on with them since 2008.
Well, definitely practice or no practice, you managed to win here tonight. We always talk about how racing is 50% skill, 50% luck, depending on who you ask. Anyway, the percentages could be a little different, but you did what you had to do to be in there to take advantage of somebody else's misfortune to make it your fortune. So obviously you got the skill and. To be there, you had the luck here tonight as well, and you get to be celebrating this win at the first road course of the season and getting yourself locked in to the chase coming up later this season. Any sponsors on that car and any shout-outs you want to give out there for this win here tonight?
Just appreciate the group of guys that puts this on, and you for doing what you do, and yeah, like you say, locked into the chase, so that's pretty comforting.
All right. Well, again, congrats on the win here tonight. And that, of course, is going to wrap it up for tonight's broadcast. We thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. I know it's late, depending on where you are. We're glad you stayed with us, though. As always, we will see you tomorrow night with some more great racing as we start the Race Core Truck Series for the first race at Daytona. We'll have some green-white checkers in place for that race, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you there.